Tila isinusuka na din ng sariling anak ni na President Bongbong Marcos at Liza Marcos na si Sandro Marcos ang mga ito matapos nga na madamay si Sandro sa isyu pagnanakaw ng kanyang mga magulang. Ayon sa ulat, inamin ni Sandro na matagal na siyang wala sa puder ng kanyang mga magulang at sana daw ay wag na siyang idamay sa mga isyu ng kanyang ama't ina. Narito panoorin ang video kung paano nabisto ang mga Marcos.
Well, hindi mo pwedeng bunutin yung isang sinabi niya and separate it from everything else he said, no? Kasi sabi din niya, wala daw siyang kinikita dyan sa mga inaareglo niyang mga insertions na siguro naman hindi ka panipaniwala, no? Kung titignan mo yung mga dates na sinasabi niya, hindi naman tugma dun sa mga developments na sinasabi din niya. So sa tingin ko, if you look at the overall statements of Mr. Ko, parang nabunot na lang sa kung saan-saan. And syempre, babanggitin niya yung mga taong nababanggit na rin, especially those that he feels will lead to greater credibility for himself, no? Porket matagal nang nababanggit si Speaker Romualdez, unahin niya yan, no? Kasi parang iniisip niya siguro mas maniniwala sa kanya yung tao kung sakyan niya yung paniniwala nila. But alam mo, well, everybody knows naman that he worked very closely with Speaker Romualdez, para yung mga sinasabi niya ngayon na sinabihan siya na pababaril siya, na sinabihan siyang ganito, ganyan. Parang ako, personally, hindi ako naniniwala. Kasi hindi ganun ang relasyon ng dalawa sa tingin ko. Dahil they, obviously, even if they did not agree in the later stages of last year until this year, matagal sila nagsama at wala namang ganyan sigurong relasyon. So, for him to accuse anybody at this point in time, I think is very presumptuous. Kasi siya na nga yung pinaka-guilty dito. Di ba? Siya yung nagtatago, hindi yung iba. Siya yung umiiwas ng mga tanong, hindi yung iba. So, ituturo niya ngayon yung marami nang na-testify sa different investigative agencies. Siya, ayaw niya magpatanong, magmi-mystery post siya ng mga ganyan. Sa tingin ko, we have to take all of this with a grain of salt. He's not credible, period.
Do you think may behind sa kanya?
Well, behind sa kanya, maraming kwentong ganyan. Wala naman kaming sigurong specifically alam pa dyan. But, well, that's not really, I think, the issue right now. Ang issue ngayon talaga is itong mga kwento niya. Dapat, he should be tested on the veracity of all of these things. Kasi puro invento. Sa tingin ko, puro invento yan And, titignan mo yung baba, mayroon siyang palabas na litrato, yung kotse na nakalagay doon, yung plaka, L ang umpisa, Davao yun. Diba? Naghatid siya ng pera sa Davao. Tapos yung mga maleta, meron nagsabi sa social media rin na may mga yung parang sales tag, price tag, na ang sabi nila, hindi ko alam kung totoo, kauumpisa lang ng SME pagbilian. So, some people are saying na binili lang yung mga maleta para kunan ng litrato, nagkamali sila, nasama yung kotse na galing Davao. So, there are so many factual issues in what he has been saying and posting. Siguro kaysa kami magpaliwanag bakit mali yan, ipaliwanag niya bakit totoo yan, di ba? It's not for us to disprove his crazy stories. Dapat siguro patunayan niya, show some evidence and some, di ba? More proof so that people will listen to him seriously. Di ba?
And to add rin, sana po umuwi siya and mag-swear ng oath and, provide all the facts ng kanyang mga allegations din. Para tama yung proseso natin. Yun lang, pa-inad ko lang po.
And as it is right now, yung statement niya kasi, it's purely hearsay. It's not sworn. And there's no way also to find out or authenticate the video. Importante yun sa ebidensya na merong independent body to check the veracity and authenticity of the video. So, walang sworn statement, walang authenticity. At the same time, when you come up with a statement like that, you have to be cross-examined. And all of these are absent. So, meaning to say, no probative value as of now. ito ay isang haka-haka lamang. So, kung gusto niyang patunayan yan, kailangan umuwi siya kasi maraming inconsistencies sa kanyang mga statements. As mentioned earlier, na wala siyang kinita at binigay niya lang. Well, medyo siya yung unang na-charge. So, if he wants to prove himself, katulad ng sinabi ni Speaker Boji, kailangan umuwi siya at patunayan niya lahat ng sinasabi niya. Kasi as Speaker Boji earlier position is really accountability and transparency. And the only way we can find out the truth, umuwi siya at harapin yung mga akusasyon sa kanya.
Well, in addition to that, no, I think you have to also go back with the timeline. I mean, if he's really is that sincere in coming out with the truth, why didn't he go out the moment that all of these things came about? No, I think the only time that he came out with that statement, outlandish it may seem, if you ask me, is when everybody who was appearing in the Senate pointed at him as the most guilty one. So I think it's how convenient for him to point out someone who is higher than him. I think he appeals to the ordinary logic of every Filipino that who actually is more superior to him. I think the speaker and the president. So naturally, that would be a convenient excuse for him to appear as the least guilty. So I think tama nga po yung sinabi ni DSD at saka si Manong Ronnie na for him to establish his credibility, you cannot just expect the people to believe you, come out on social media, on Facebook with all of these outlandish allegations and expect everyone will just toe in line and believe you. I mean, the only way for you to build the credibility is to allow your allegations be tested, the validity of it be tested by, by cross-examination. And sinabi nga nila, bumalik siya, umuwi siya with this, and mag-swear in siya, affidavit, and so that he can be open also to cross-examination. No, I think the public deserves that. If he really is one with the public in fretting out the truth, the longer he stays abroad, that would only mean one thing. Like he's creating this scenario wherein he would appear as the least guilty, regardless whether the country would fall in disarray. Which is, to me, sabi nga ni Manong Ronnie, would only benefit, I guess, no? Kaya nga nagkakaroon nga ng haka-haka ngayon, sino bang magbe-benefit dito with all of these allegations? So it's not, I think it's not far-fetched also for the people to form their own opinion regarding this, this Saldico coming out at a very convenient time for a certain groups to benefit from all of this stress.
Mangalog, you want to add before I ask the next?
Sa amin, sa Norte, I'm from the North. Tinignan nyo naman yung listahan ng sinasabing insertion daw ni Presidente. Ang pinagtataka ko lang, kung si Presidente yun, sana sa amin ang karamihan ng insertion. Kahit tingnan niyo po yung listahan, halos wala po sa amin eh. Halos wala po eh. Taga Norte naman si Presidente, sana kami ang mas nakakarami doon. Kung talagang insertion yun ni Presidente. Kaya kung minsan, parang sa amin na taga Norte, it's quite unbelievable na mag-i-insert si Presidente tapos hindi kami ang magbe-benefit na taga North. Kasi taga North naman talaga siya. Kung titingnan mo naman, yung almost 90% ng panalo ni Presidente from the North. Yun nga parang may insertion pero wala namang benefisyong mga taga Norte. Kaya I think you doon pa lang, hindi ka na maniniwala doon na talagang insertion yun ni Presidente. Yung sinasabi pong 100 million. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next question natin is from Tina Panganiban Perez of GMA.
Sirs and ma'am, you've known former Speaker Martin Romualdez for a long time, and former Representative Zaldico alleged that the former Speaker threatened him that he will be shot if he comes home, that he will be robbed out by hired assassins. Ano pong masasabi niyo doon?
Ang alam ko kasi mga ganun po, madaling magsabi, pero you have to prove na totoo yung allegations. And I think former Speaker Martin can answer that, and alam niya na walang katotohanan siguro sa mga akusasyon na ganito.
I think ito yung sinasabi po namin from Lakas because we're talking about our party president. Ito po yung sinasabi namin sa Lakas na kung pag-uusapan po natin itong issue ng corruption na ito, dapat po base po yan sa verified na facts at base po yan sa mga ebidensya. Huwag po natin gawing plataforma ito na drama na kumbaga parang soap opera na alam mo niyo po yung mula sa puso na napapanood niyo po yun. Parang ganun yun eh. May kalaban sikat yun eh, si Lina, tapos ginagawa ang lahat para mapatay yung mga kalaban niya. I mean, this is only happen in movies eh. I think my suggestion is baka sobra at ang tagal niya sa ibang bansa, wala na siyang ginagawa at nanunood na lang ng Netflix. I mean, it's something that only happens in the movies eh. And kung ako tatanungin, I think the speaker, having served the House of Representatives for more than 3 years, all of us can testify that he has no inch of violence in his system. In fact, inaano nga eh, wala akong kabayo-violente itong tao na to. I can say that, no, for someone who has been working closely. I think DS Puno can also say that. Wala pong violente sa sistema ng former speaker. That's why the entire house voted him twice as a speaker. Dahil alam po namin kung gaano po yung ka-steady ng kanyang leadership at yung serbisyo po niya na gustong mangyari sa taong bayan.
Next question is from Mela of PTV4.
Leadership.
Unang-una, wala yung tao dito eh. For an investigation to start, you have to have a sworn statement para ma-cross-examine ka, para ma-check yung mga ebidensya mo. And any judicial or other quasi-judicial bodies, even Congress, cannot start an investigation by a mere video. So, paano ko mag-iimbestiga kung wala yung tao dito? So, there's no specific instructions. And it's very clear from the start, no, sa pag-upo ni Speaker Boji, na we submitted to the jurisdiction of the ICI. And to the members that were mentioned na involved sa flood control, everybody submitted to ICI. Lahat sila nagpakita, lahat sila nagsubmit ng documents, lahat sila willing to be investigated. So that is a sign of, kumbaga, good faith on the part of the members of Congress. So, again, babalik tayo doon kung gusto niyang patunayan lahat yan. He has to come home and submit a sworn statement for any investigation doon sa mga allegations niya na imbestigahan ng kahit na anong body, even Congress.
And kumustahin ko na lang din po, how's the morale sa House of Representatives ngayon given na may mga idinadawit nga po ng mga kongresista and even dito sa video ni former Congressman Saldico, nabanggit nga si former Speaker Martin Romualdez. Kumusta po yung moral at performance ngayon ng House despite all this happenings po?
Despite all this, parang lahat kami, we try to focus on the job of a legislator. Siyempre parang masama rin na naririnig namin all the accusations against us as a member. Kasi nagtatrabaho po kami talaga sa legislation and masakit po na nadja-judge kami, nadja-generalize when if ever there's something sigurado naman kami na may nangyari talaga because of the involvement of Chair Saldico. So siguro meron a few dyan na damay, pero sana naman hindi yung ma-reflect on all the members kasi alam ko with all the members nakikita ko po sino po yung talagang nagtatrabaho, and we really focus on really working on legislation and things na kailangan para sa bansa.
Alam nyo, hindi na namin sana papansinin ito eh. Di ba? Kasi puro malabo yung mga kwento niya eh. Di ba? For example, sabi niya, yung presidente kinausap si Secretary Pangandaman at si Undersecretary Bersamin para puntahan siya at makiusap na magsingit ng 100 billion na projects, no? Masyado na siyang bilib sa sarili niya. Sinong presidente ang kailangan makiusap sa isang committee chairman sa House, no? At hindi naman niya kayang i-deliver lahat yan. So bakit siya papakiusapan ng napakaraming makapangyarihan na tao, 'di ba? Para gawin yung hindi naman niya talaga kayang gawin. So number one, yun, medyo malayo talaga yun sa katotohanan, ano? Pangalawa, wala daw siyang natanggap or nakuha dito sa lahat ng mga projects na to. Di saan nanggaling yung mga eroplano? Saan nanggaling yung mga helicopter? Yung mga bahay niya sa Europe at kung saan-saan, 'di ba? Saan nanggaling lahat yun? Yung hotel niya, saan galing yun? Oh, dapat pakita niya kung saan. Kasi talagang, kung iisa-isahin mo yung mga sinabi niya, talagang parang hindi ka makasagot dahil napaka-imposible, di ba? So, ganun. I think, ihambing natin yung sitwasyon sa kung anong sinasabi niya, no? Meron ba tayong listahan ng kanyang properties? I think,
There's pictures.
parang may tinignan namin kung ano yung mga properties niya talaga. Alam niyo yung mga eroplanong nando sa kanya, ay hindi gawang biro yun, ha? Mga $36 million yung isa. And, tatlo yan. Di ba? Yung mga helicopter na lang, ang mamahal niyan. Hindi yan kaya kahit na ng mga malalaking kumpanya sa Makati. Alam mo yon? Kung ihambing mo, compare mo yung anong nasa kanya, doon sa ibang mga napakalaking mga kumpanya, lamang pa siya eh. So, saan nanggaling lahat yan? Kung yung mga malalaking kumpanya na ang tagal ng natatag, di ba? Big industry leaders cannot afford what he is showing, di ba? So, ano yan? Milagro? Sana naman nanggaling yan. So, ang dami kasing sinasabi niya na parang mapapatahimik ka na lang kasi imposible talaga. Hindi mo alam paano mo sasagutin dahil ang layo talaga sa katotohanan. Tapos ito tayo, nagpapaliwanag tayo paano siya nagsisinungaling. Nako, talagang ang hirap kasi pag ang tao nagsalita ng walang kabase-base, mahirap i-debate yun. Di ba? Mahirap. It's so hard to argue with somebody who is talking crazy. Because obviously, whatever argument you have will have no relation to the truth. Wala siyang kinikita. Nakiusap sa kanya yung presidente. Nako, parang hindi talaga pwede yung ganyan.
Okay, before I recognize Earl and the UNTV, may follow-up questions muna against si Tina Panganiban. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry po sir, patanong lang po ng office ko. Any reaction po dito sa sinabi ni Yusek Claire Castro na nagagamit daw po si Zaldico? Ang sabi po ni Yusek, tingin ko nagpagamit si Zaldico. Sa aking pananaw, tiniming ito kasi ang gusto ng mga gustong magpabagsak sa Pangulo ay mawala ang Pangulo. Kaya maaaring magamit ito. Ako lang, personal na pananaw ko to. Pinangakuan na kapag kami ang nasa pwesto, mapalitan ng Pangulo, hindi ka uusigin.
Reaction sa panels po natin.
Well, sa akin naman, di ba kanina sinabi ko, the reason why nagkakaroon ng ganitong klaseng opinion, it's because you also go back to the issue eh. Ang issue kasi it's not only about cleaning the government, it has also something to do with the current political system and trend that we're having right now, di ba? So, kaya nga sinasabi ko, kanina po, in-explain ko po sa inyo, I think it's convenient for former Congressman Saldic to point out, to throw the blame to the one who's more authoritative, in terms of power and mandate, that's the speaker and that's the president, so that he can appear as the least guilty, someone who has been used, for the benefit of a certain individual, which in this case, according to him, is the president. Kama nga yung sinabi po ni Manong Ronnie, imposibleng maniwala din po ang tao na sasabihin mong wala kang kinuha pero it does not reflect to the current, the asset that he has. It's clearly, to me, it's clearly preposterous to say that you have not gained anything from that kind of transaction when in fact your asset speaks of the exact opposite of what you're claiming to be, So tatanungin mo talaga, so bakit napaka-convenient ituro siya? So definitely, somebody has to benefit from all of this. From all of this revelation that he has. So with the current political trend, that's the reason why nandito po kami, ang party leaders, is to offer the public, and not only to call for sobriety, but also to reaffirm our commitment to truth and to the rule of law. Kasi may mga ongoing pong ICI ngayon, may mga legal procedures and proceedings kung paano po dapat natin ibabato ang ating mga aligasyon. Gusto natin, lahat po tayo, gusto natin mapabuti at mapaayos ang sistema ng Pilipinas. Ang hindi lang natin pinagkakasunduan ay yung mga gagawing itong legitimate na mga issues, concern, at ibabato at gagawing political drama na may magbe-benefit kung sino man yon. So I think it perfectly fits where Saldico is right now. That's why every one of us now is thinking that probably we're forming our own idea. Sino ba talaga magbe-benefit nito? Definitely not the president, but because the president is the one being accused of by Saldico.
Siguro si Saldi lang makakasabi niyan, no? We can all guess and speculate. Pero sa akin naman talaga, siniseryoso natin to talaga. Kasi lahat ito mga imposibleng sinasabi niya, pinag-uusapan natin parang matinong konversasyon ito, no? Wala Talagang walang base talaga yung mga sinasabi niya. Parang, ano ba to? Kahit ano na lang sabihin ng tao, talagang i-analyze natin to death. Malabo talaga. Wala Walang laman lahat na sinasabi nila Imposible lahat na sinasabi nila. Kaya, kung may makinabang dyan, di ko alam. Pero, siguro, ewan ko, ba't hindi natin hingian ng mas marami pang proof, no? Yung mga nagsasalita, di ba? Kasi, siyempre, you assert, you have to prove, di ba? Ganun yun. Siguro yung kalaban ni Presidente, di ba? Kasi kaya nila in-atake para mag-benefit sila. Sino yun? Hindi natin alam. Di ba?
Pero you think the statements
Kung sinali nila sa distab yan, mahina sila magplano. Walang kwenta yung kwento Alam mo yun? Mag-isip sila kung talagang gusto nila magganyan. Gandahan naman nila. Yung medyo maniniwala tayo ng konti. Ito, kahit na paano mo isipin, ang hirap paniwalaan. Kahit sa mutignan Parang wala. Invento lahat
At saka sa ngayon po kasi, ang minention niya, insertions on the 2025 budget. Sa kanya pinapalabas na may cash na na-receive. Pero yung pictures niya, kung totoo man yung mga pictures na yon, parang 2024 ang sinasabi niyang date ng mga pag-deliver ng mga suitcases na yun na hindi rin klaro paano mo ma-prove na napunta dito, sinong nag-receive. So, yun, inaantay rin natin to provide more proof and hindi man lang binuksan yung suitcase kung anong laman sa loob. So, provide more proof kung meron talagang valid accusation.
Okay, next question natin. Gab, do you have question? Oh, sige, follow up lang. Sige, before.
walang idea yung mga members ng 19th Congress who were working with me about these matters. Kaya parang kasi po yun yung dahilan kung bakit nagkaka-traction eh. Na parang hindi nyo alam na yung kasama nyo ganito pala yung ginagawa, ganito nakalaki yung asset niya, yung air assets, yung mga real properties.
Yeah.
Well, unang-una, nagkaka-traction ba yan? Kasi meron din kami mga survey, kung ano ang epekto niyan. I will tell you, you check any survey, social media at lahat, more than half do not believe. More than half. Ang mga we don't know, masan 30-35%. Yung balanse lang ang naniniwala. Ilan yun? Ilan-ilan lang. Di ba? So, actually, I don't think it's getting any traction at all. No? Siguro kahit kayo, magsabi tayo ng totoo, naniniwala kayo sa sinasabi niyan. Unang-una, 25 billion ang dineliver niya. Alam niyo ba gaano karami yun? That is 25,000, 1 million bundles. Hindi magkakasya yun sa maletang kinunan niya. Na mukhang kakabili lang nila sa SM. Alam mo yun? Hindi, I mean, siguro naman we have to require a minimum level of credibility from somebody who will be talking and be cited and quoted in public, di ba? Kasi there's a certain responsibility we all carry in telling these stories to our people. Na syempre it has to be based on the truth, di ba? Pero kung talaga napaka-imposible, bakit natin pagugulungin yung kwentong ganun? Di ba? Ako sa akin kalokohan eh. Nung siyempre, yung unang statement na nakakagulat. Diba? Kasi siyempre, he's accusing the president. We are all serving the president. So siyempre, nasa shock kami. Pero the more you listen to him, the more ridiculous yung kanyang mga sinasabi. Kaya nga kanina nag-uusap kami, parang patulang pa ba natin yan? I mean, bayaan mo na sa social media palabas lahat ng inconsistencies dyan. Pero hindi, we felt that it is important for the public to know that Congress is in support of the president. Period. Diba? Ngayon yung mga iba, yung kay Martin Romualdez. Well, ex-Speaker Martin Romualdez can talk for himself, no? Pero parang ang layo, sabi nga nila eh. Well, wala sa personalidad ni Speaker Martin yun eh. Na former Speaker Martin na magpapabaril ng tao. Ano yun? I mean, an accusation like that is so bad na kung talagang walang kabase-base naman, siguro wag na lang patulan, hindi ba? Pakita niya, where does he get that information from? Sino nagsabi sa kanyang ginaganon siya? Para at least matignan natin na mabuti. Because he is the most guilty of everybody and that is what all the investigators are saying. Tapos paniniwalaan natin yung mga ganyan niya. Di ba? Siguro naman salain din natin yung mga dapat paniwalaan natin.
Okay, next
Tapos
natin is...
to add rin doon, kasi
Okay,
yung lawyer niya yata nasabi na, yung SALN niya, I think naka-indicate to na 4B ang kanyang net worth. And then I think yung planes niya are around 2B all in all, mga air assets po ni Kong Saldico. So yun na lang, tignan na natin kung ano talaga yung nagmamatch na information dun sa mga sabit or na mention nila na net worth po niya. Thank you.
Okay, next question is from Earl.
Kanyang mga pahayag. Sinabi niya po that the president is facing a profound crisis of confidence. On her words, exactly, she said the president now faces a profound crisis of confidence, especially in the way these corruption investigations are being handled, which appear to lack both direction and result. We also seek clear answers on how the budget deprived Filipinos of billions of pesos was approved under his watch. The BP demands accountability daw po alongside with the people. Your reactions, Kong?
With all due respect, I think this is what I don't understand. The very person who actually wanting to clear out all this mess, using his authority to really upend whatever mess that we're in, is the one that is now being pointed at as the one to be faulted. No, I mean, let's remember the president came out during his SONA, saying, these things, at the expense of probably the capital of his own administration. I mean, for someone who does that, it only speaks about sincerity and the confidence that the administration, with all the illegal instruments at his disposal, with the robust working of the courts, the entirety of his government and administration, it only speaks not of lack of confidence, but actually the certain amount and the enough amount of confidence in that kind of in the government. Nobody would even come out exposing na meron talagang problema, tapos ikaw yung pangulo na alam mong walang mangyayari halimbawa, or alam mong hindi ka confident doon sa magiging resulta nung gusto mong ayusin sa gobyerno mo. I think it speaks about not only just confidence of the workings of the government, because he allows the course of the law and the justice to have its own course in investigating all this mess. It also speaks about his sincerity as a leader to really reform the system. I think at the very least, we owe, at least man lang, maski pasalamat man lang, because isa lang siya sa presidente. Ang dami pong naging presidente at ang daming problema, pero wala pong tumayo at lumabas at sinabi niya na kailangan natin imbestigahan ito. Siya lang. Hindi ko maintindihan. Dapat nga, suporta ang bibigay natin sa kanya. Pasalamat ang bibigay natin sa kanya at the expense of probably putting his administration at risk. It speaks about the person, the character, the sincerity that he has to reform the government. We should at least owe him some thanks, no?
Thank you, sir. The next is, yes, UNTV.
Pero sir, bottom line, do you agree with the sentiments of the BP saying na walang direksyon yung investigasyon na nangyayari?
I've given you a lengthy explanation that would speaks about not agreeing to that kind of statement.
Hindi, itong investigasyon, no, ilan na ba yung nalagay sa watch list, di ba, sa pangbiyahe? Ilang congressman na ang napatawag sa ICI? Ilang senador na? Ilang senador at mga kontratista at lahat ang sinasabing kakasuhan na? Siguro malayo nang inabot ng investigasyon, di ba? Alam niyo kung familiar kayo sa mga legal processes, matagal talaga yan. Di ba? Demandahin ka, you have 10 days to answer. Pwede mo i-delay. Pag sagot mo, may 10 days to reply yung kabila. Paikot-ikot yon. Mahaba talaga yung proseso. Pero nandito na tayo sa malapit na talagang iisampa yung mga kaso sa korte. At alam niyo, hindi gawang biro to. Hintayin nyo lang. Kasi dalawang klaseng charges ang pwedeng ipasok dyan na yung malversation, na kung over 8 million yan, non-bailable yan, or plunder, kung talaga napatunayan na may tumanggap na legislator dyan. Yung plunder, non-bailable din yun. So, ang sa amin, sa amin lahat, at saka especially sa NUP, sa amin dapat tingin namin bilisan yung investigasyon, tutuhanin kaagad yung prosecution, file lang kaagad ng kaso. At sabi ng presidente, maraming hindi matutuwa sa Pasko, sa katapusan ng taon na ito, kasi baka magbabakasyon sila sa loob ng selda, di ba? Yun ang, siguro dapat yun na sundan natin. Ibig na pipintasan natin yung investigasyon na araw-araw nangyayari naman, pinupuntahan lahat ng project sa lahat ng mga probinsya. Hintayin natin at, alam mo, nagpapahayag naman sila, di ba, kung anong mga ginagawa nila. Kulang pa ba yan na ang dami nang nakalista, napapailan na ng kaso, di ba? So I think that's not true. The investigation is proceeding well. I think the ICI is doing a good job. And syempre the courts are going to take over. Hindi naman pwedeng basta sampa ka na lang sampa ng kaso na hindi mo hinanda ng husto kasi madidismiss lang yan. Pero dito sa mga nakikita natin, mukhang marami talagang ebidensyang lumalabas. Siguro kaya na rin nagpanic na rin ito si Saldico kasi unang-una, pag na-filean siya ng kaso, may basis na para bawiin yung passport niya. Di ba? Dahil magkaka-warrant of arrest yan, sigurado. Paglabas ng warrant of arrest, hindi siya sumipot, cancel passport na, saan sa pupunta. Babalik na lang siya sa Pilipinas. So, baka nagpapanik siya kasi alam niya malapit na. Kasi kung sinusundan ninyo ang ginagawa ng ICI, ng Department of Justice, at ang Ombudsman ngayon, sobrang daming ebidensyang lumalabas. Mga testimony, grabe. Okay? So sa akin, yun ang bantayan natin. If you're really interested in seeing accountability here, let's pay attention to those and let's support the investigative and prosecutorial bodies. Di ba? So it's madali sabihin, ay, walang nangyayari dyan. Hindi sila nagbabasa ng dyaryo. Ang daming nangyayari dyan. Kaya nga araw-araw yan ang binabasa natin, di ba? Oh. So no, it's not true that the investigations and everything else are not proceeding.
Okay, go ahead sa UNTV.
Good afternoon po, Kong. Rose po sa UNTV. Kanina po na-mention niyo po, DS Puno, na si Saldico ang most guilty. So you're believing po na he's behind the anomalous insertion sa 2025 budget?
No, he is claiming to be behind the insertions, hindi ba? Pinakiusapan daw siya ng presidente at saka linagay niya doon dahil kinausap siya ni Secretary Pangandaman at saka ni Yusek Bersamin. Siya nagsasabi. 'Di ba? Hindi ko alam kung naintindihan niyo yung sinasabi niya eh. 'Di ba? Because now he has to prove that since he was the one that put it there, that nobody else is guilty, 'di ba? So, I mean, yan ang ibig ko sabihin. Kaya parang nakakapag-alangan patulan yung mga sinasabi niya. Kasi he's contradicting himself every step of the way. Eh. Alam mo yun? Parang ang hirap paniwalaan talaga. So
DS Puno, it does not merit any investigation from the ombudsman or any investigating body. Yun pong mga aligasyon niya.
Hindi, kasi why are we saying that he is probably the most guilty? Number one, he was the APRO chairman. Diba? Kaya nga tinanggal ng Congress yan in January kasi wala nang may tiwala sa kanya at that time. Eh. Okay? Now, so tinanggal siya ng Congress, ilang buwan yan, na umiikot-ikot siya, umalis ng Pilipinas, etc. Then naglalabasan ngayon ito, lahat ito mga to. Lumabas yung mga sa Mindoro, eh, sino yung isang mga kontratista na nandun? Siya. If you look at all of the lists of contractors, andun yung kanyang kumpanya. Paano siya nagkaroon ng kumpanya? Eh, APRO chairman siya. You know, I think his lawyers should shut him up so that he stops self-incriminating. Alam mo, ini-incriminate niya ang sarili niya sa mga sinasabi niya eh. Then, tatakpan niya by saying, may magpapapatay sa akin. Ang dali sabihin yan eh. Di ba? Pero sa society natin, sa lipunan natin, ordinaryo ba yung ganun? Parang hirap gawin, lalo na yung matataas na opisyal, di ba? Basta na lang pwede magpapatay ng kahit sino. Ano bang klaseng yan? Kwento yan. So I think we have to be careful listening to this guy. Kasi, you can make the most ridiculous and outlandish statements and you get more attention the more ridiculous and the more outlandish. Di ba? And that's what's happening here. So, sige, patulan natin sandali para ma-point out lang natin saan mali lahat yung mga sinasabi niya at imposible. Di ba? Pero after a certain amount of time, let's go back to what we're supposed to do, which is investigate all of this corruption, prosecute those that are responsible for this corruption, and put them where they belong, which is in jail. Di ba? Yun na, wag na tayo magpalihis-lihis pa eh. Sundan na lang natin ito ng tama. Yun ang panawagan namin sa aming partido. Kasi parang, mga to, talagang, parang diversionary tactic talaga. Eh, syempre, wala na siyang paliwanag. Sana sagutin niya yung mga paratang sa kanya, di ba? Dapat handain na nila yung sagot niya sa korte. Kasi kung hindi siya sumagot ng maayos, ang lawyer niya, may kalalagyan siya, hindi na tatagal, di ba?
Kay Kong Hernandez po, sorry po, kay DS Hernandez, since kayo po yung chairperson ng SALN Review and Compliance Committee, is the House willing to publicize the SALN of Saldico?
Well, as of now, hindi pa kami nag-convene, no? And I haven't seen the order of the composition of the SALN committee. Siguro overtaken by events dahil nagkaroon ng bagyo, nagkaroon ng mga issues, and as far as siguro merong question of legality lang because Saldi is no longer a member of Congress. So as far as jurisdiction is concerned, walang jurisdiction ng Congress sa kanya ngayon. And siguro one of those issues that we will discuss pag nag-convene na yung ng committee. And of course, importante yung legality dito.
Pero di po ba it would be best for the public to know yun pong SALN ni Saldico since he's the center of the controversy right now?
As of now, hindi ko masasagot yan kasi sa ngayon, hindi na member si si Saldico ng Kongreso. So,
Pero ang SecGen po, ang House of Representatives po, yung pong may hawak nung SALN niya, di ba? And
yes, during the time he was a member, but right now, siyempre may kasamang consent yan eh. Lalo na hindi ka na member. Diba?
kailangan pa ng consent po ni Saldico para po ma-publicize yung SALN niya?
Hindi, kasi ngayon hindi siya member. So as far as jurisdiction is concerned, wala ang jurisdiction ng Kongreso na sa kanya.
Alam mo bakit
And-
sinasabi ni DS yan? Kasi yung SALN namin sinasabit when we join the government. Diba? So it is a record of our office, which is supposed to be open to the public. Nag-resign na siya, private citizen na siya. So there are different legal principles covering that. So yan ang pinag-aaralan pa nila. Kasi kung ilalabas lang nila ng kusa, they can be sued also for violation of the personal rights of the individual. Kasi nga hindi na gobyerno civilian na siya Di ba? So there is no accountability from let's say whoever is holding the SALN kasi wala na silang jurisdiction yung sinasabi ni DS, no?
Okay, Gab?
Sir, sorry, pwede lang mag-follow up. DS Puno, you mentioned kaya tinanggal noong January si Saldico as APRO chair, wala nang tiwala sa kanya. Sino po ang Pangulo and paano po nawala? Anong wala yung tiwala?
Well, yung Kongreso yung bumoto. No? I mean, it was the House that voted him out. So, yung definitive action of him being removed was taken by the entire House.
Bakit po nawala yung tiwala, sir, noong January?
O, magchichismis tayo, Nung nandun siya at maraming lumalapit na magpapasok ng project, siguro naririnig ko, wala ako sa 19th Congress, na medyo magaspang daw yung mga sagot sa kanila. Medyo napapagalitan pa sila. Lalapit sila at napapagalitan, ganun. Tapos, papakangkuhan din naman lumalabas. So, I think because of that, maraming nawalan ng tiwala sa kanya. No? And clearly, there were questions all over the place. Nag-umpisa na nun yung mga tanong-tanong ng mga Senado, di ba? Kaya, because of that, siguro, they wanted to come up with somebody that's going to be able to answer the questions and represent Congress properly. So ang rason nun, bakit siya natanggal? Because I guess the members of Congress felt he was no longer representing Congress properly.
Conga Jung, you've been the Vice APRO chair po nung time na yon. Can you share yung story para hindi hearsay?
Well, una, I became vice chair the latter part of 2025, if I may remember, when DS Tony Pet was elected as one of the deputy speakers. So Lakas being given that slot, I was the one elected by Lakas to replace Tony Pet. So I only learned about the issue on distrust among members when after the BICAM and the GAA was signed. I guess that's the time. That was in January. The BICAM came about in December. I guess the president signed the BICAM result of the ano you call this? The GAA in December, no? I'm just trying to look at the timeline. And when all of these issues also came out, questioning the GAA, no less than the president says, it doesn't really reflect the one that we passed under the NEP. So it does not mangled nga, no, diba? And all of there's several groups also questioned the GAA before the Supreme Court. I guess that added up to the sentiment of the members of the House, particularly the members of the APRO committee, to remove him and elect somebody else who can actually replace him as the chairman of the Appropriations Committee. So that's how I came into the appropriation. That's the sentiment of the members of the APRO.
July po kasi yung sona ng Pangulo when he mentioned that.
I think it's sometime, kasi we're talking about the 2025 GAA. It was actually deliberated in 2024. Diba? Remember, correct my timeline. So he was removed in January of 2025.
Okay, last question natin is Gab. Go ahead, Gab.
Sir, first question, hindi totoo na kaya umalis si Saldico dahil health reasons. Kasi yun yung sinasabi niya noong January na kaya siya tinanggal dahil meron siyang mga health procedures na gagawin sa Amerika.
Well, I don't know about his own reason because that came out with his own statement, no? That's his statement. But the general sentiment is that he's no longer serving the interest of the entire APRO committee. But since, there's a sense of interparliamentary courtesy among members, we do not want to debate on, the statement of one of our colleagues, no, as a sign of respect. No?
Sir, second question regarding din that. Kasi yung sinasabi kanina na parang lumabas yung sa Mindoro, sir, yung sabi ni DS Puno, na parang yung mga kumpanya niya, yung mga kontratista. Pero hindi naman bago, sir, na yung links ni Congressman Saldico sa SunWest. Kasi even before this administration, identified siya na siya yung founder at involved yung pamilya niya sa SunWest, sa Hightone. Parang ano ba to, sir? Oversight ba to on the part of Congress that they elected a lawmaker na may clear ties to a contractor, to a company?
You know what, to be honest with you, no, I want to answer you because I cannot speak for everybody here, no. Sabi ko nga, I came into as a member of the APRO on the latter part of 2024. To be honest with you, I have no idea of Saldi's background or what companies he owns. So hindi ko masasagot yan. Basta ang akin lang po, the sentiment of the APRO committee members at that time was really to replace him as chairman because he no longer serves the interest of the entire the committee in the House.
Okay, one last questions from Tina Panganiban Perez.
Sir, last po. Patanong po ng office, after the video statements of Zaldico, Representative Kiko Barsaga is now calling on government agencies to withdraw their support from the president. Anybody po?
Deputy Speaker Puno, kayo po ang sasagot.
Patanong po ng officer.
Tina, nakakawalang gana naman mga tanong natin.
Sir, ako'y
Usapan natin si
napagputusan lang,
Saldico
sir.
at si Barsaga na naman.
Sir, kasi
wag na
connected
siguro.
nga doon sa mga revelations
Huwag na
daw.
siguro, pusa yun eh. Di ba? Huwag na lang natin pansinin yung mga tanong ng ganun. Kasi, sus Maria naman oh. Ang daming mga seryosong pwedeng pagkuhanan ng mga tanong. Huwag bakit sa kanya pa. Di ba? I mean, if other people will ask that na, have a presumption of rationality. Di ba? Di sasagutin natin. Pero yung, wag naman kahit sino na lang. Anyway, yung si Barsaga, pag-uusapan ng Committee on Ethics yan next week. Eh. So, doon lang siya magpaliwanag. Ulitin niya siguro yung kanyang gusto mangyari dyan. Doon, sa committee, pag nananagot na siya.
Okay.
Sorry, last one. Present po ba sa party leaders meeting si Madjo leader Sandro Marcos? At what was his sentiment about these issues? Yung pong pagdawit sa kanyang tito at sa kanyang ama po, si PBBM.
Hindi, kami nag-usap. No? I think for some parts of the meeting, nandun si speaker, pero yung when we started talking about our statements and so on, kami na lang yun. Kasi, kaya nga, si Madjo, well, he was in there for part of the meeting. Pero if you're implying that sila nagsabi sa amin gawin yan, hindi. Hindi kami papayag na gano'n. No? I mean, partido namin, hindi kami papayag na utusan kami ng gawain kahit ano-ano. Well, obviously, you attack his father, he's not going to be happy. Diba? And he is also the majority leader of the House. So, it is sad for him, I suppose, to see all of these things happening. But I think we can assure everybody that, the House is moving on okay. I mean, the committee meetings are proceeding the way they're supposed to. All of these things have not affected the way the House is operating because the committee on rules under Majority Leader Marcos is doing very well. No? So, okay lang tayo dito. I don't think that all of this have a negative effect or at least a damaging effect on the work of Congress.
So as a part of Partido Federal, I represented I'm the representative of the party in the party leadership meeting, and there was no instructions. There was no walang dinikta dito. It's purely the sentiments of the respective parties. And of course, si Speaker, karamihan naman dito nasa direction ng Speaker of the House. So from the direction of the Speaker, dun kami nakasentro.
Okay, with that, let's end this press conference. Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker Puno, Deputy Speaker Hernandez, Deputy Speaker Singson Mehan, Congressman si Adjong, and Congressman Maximo Dalog. Thank you very much po.